Hey y'all, my name is Gabrielle Leonard. I'm an event income strategy consultant, event income strategy and sponsorship strategy coach. I help entrepreneurs to diversify their income, to book out their services by hosting in-person classes and workshops and landing amazing sponsors to help them do that as well. And so for today's topic, we're talking all about standing out from the crowd, standing out from your competition, and doing something or creating a brand that's a standout brand. Now, I'm not a branding expert, but I've learned and I've made some mistakes and I've learned from those mistakes on how to create a brand that stands out to your ideal customer, not just to your ideal customer, to your ideal paying customer. I want to start this by giving a story. When I started about 3 years ago, I started as a purpose, identity, and business strategy coach consultant. And so when I first started, everything that I did was all about purpose and ambition and figuring out what your purpose in life was and how you can turn that into a business strategy. That's what I did. And so I realized that there were so many people out there who were doing just that. There were so many people who were trying to create a brand in teaching people how to find their purpose. And so I created this business where I was like, my focus was purpose. I was faith-based, a faith-based business. Still am faith-based, but I primarily marketed my business to other Christians. And so for some reason, my business was getting lost with the sauce. And that was because there were a lot of different people who talked about purpose. They didn't necessarily have the title purpose coach or purpose or ambition coach. They had probably business strategists, but they focused on purpose. The topic of purpose was extremely hot in 2016 and 2017. And so when I started out and when I was trying to get clients and, create a brand in a very saturated market, I struggled. I struggled to stand out. Flash forward to about 2017. I live in the U.S. Virgin Islands here, and we actually got hit with 2 Category 5 hurricanes, Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria. And so on a tiny island, it was extremely devastating. It devastated our islands. A lot of people lost their home. A lot of people, actually about almost 10,000 people migrated from the Virgin Islands to the continental US. We're US territory, and they went to the continental US. And so lots of jobs people were displaced. All of the different, businesses failed pretty much. And so in addition to being a purpose coach, I also had a bath bomb company where I sold wholesale to local, various vendors here in the Virgin Islands. And then I also managed an event space where I hosted and planned events for, the local community. And so when the hurricanes hit, my event business kind of stopped because, people were trying to recover. People were trying to, get their lives in order, right? And so they didn't have time to be planning events and spending money for venues and for an event planner and all that kind of stuff. And so that kind of went on the wayside. And then my bath bomb company, that also pretty much took a hit because all of the stores, well, the majority of the stores that I was working with, they actually they got destroyed, or they were no longer taking on bigger vendors. And so now I was in a situation where I had all these different sources of income that I was getting in, and I no longer was able to get those sources of income. And so my business pretty much was, it was not making the money that I was hoping that it would make. In addition to that, when the hurricane hit, I lost about $10,000 in contracts. And what I mean by that is people had signed on to be clients of mine. And so when the hurricanes hit, I did not feel okay with continuing the contracts because everyone was pretty much trying to build their life up. I just did not feel comfortable just in my spirit. I just didn't feel comfortable telling these people, you know what, yes, you are trying to rebuild your house, but you're going to pay me this $3,000 contract. you're going to pay this $500 or whatever. So I let those go and I started over. And so actually I didn't start over. I was not doing anything. I was just not doing anything. After the hurricanes, I was doing nothing, you guys. I was literally doing nothing, right? I was just at home and I was just like, well, okay, I guess I have no business right now because I wasn't getting as many clients anymore. I had just kind of not gotten rid of, but the clients I had just worked so hard to sign up, I told them, you know what, it's okay. Use that money to take care of your family and, get money to your family in the Virgin Islands or those people who are in the Virgin Islands, take care of your life. So I lost those clients. And I felt defeated. Not only did I struggle in the online platform, I have a small following on social media, and I struggled to get clients. Now I felt like there was no way I was going to be able to build up my business again. And so during that time, like the month before the hurricane hit, literally a month before the hurricane hit, I'd hosted an event called Beauty's Business Brunch, and I was able to land some amazing sponsors for the event because I have worked with the government before. I've hosted events with the government where I had to, get, the congresswomen and senators and all these people to contribute to the event, as well as local agencies and businesses, police departments, everything to contribute to the events that I hosted because I work with the government. They have a small budget, right? And so I took all of those, the skills that I learned on those jobs of landing high-end sponsorships to, and I applied it to my event and then was able to land a huge bank, and I was able to land local businesses to sponsor certain things, goodie bag items and, food and dessert tables and, just different things. And so even a free legal advice, like that was a part of that, the things I was able to get sponsored. And so she knew about the event that I had in August, and she was like, I'm having an event and I need you to help me get some sponsors for my event. And I was like, okay, no problem. Like I can do that. I'm pretty, it's like second nature at this point. I did it before when I worked in private companies, government agencies. I can help you with that, no problem. So we had just started getting back some communication on island after the hurricane. And so I said, okay, we can do a really quick, 30-minute call to do a strategy for you to figure out what kind of sponsors you need to get, for your particular event, because I told her, you don't want to be reaching out to everyone. That's not the way to go. You also don't want to have these generic sponsorship packages because that's just not going to get you anywhere. And you want to make sure your pitch letter is solid and on point. So I sat with her and I chat with her and we came up with a strategy within about 30 minutes. We came up with it was like really quick. I hadn't developed anything yet. I just was helping, her out. And, I was kind of running it through by her, and, we sat down and we did it in about 30 minutes. I gave her some ideas for some companies to pitch. I also gave her some different tips and tricks as to how to reach out, how to, what kind of vendors to get her at her event, etc. And so after the call, she was like, oh my gosh, Gabrielle, oh my gosh, I need you to do this, period. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? She's like, Gabrielle, you need to absolutely do this as a service. And I was like, I don't think that people, would be interested in, me doing something like that. I don't think people will be interested in, me talking about how to get sponsors as a service. And she was like, actually, that's incorrect. People actually do want to know this. And you can even check on your Instagram. So I did check my Instagram. I had people saying, were you able to get sponsors? And I said, you know what, I'll do a class on this and stuff like that. And it just dawned on me, everything clicked that, wow, this is something that people actually want, right? So I went ahead and I did this program. I created this program all about getting sponsors, just specifically for people who are in the online business space, struggling to really book out their services, because I was able to now use events to book out my services. I'm giving this story for a reason, right? I'm sharing everything with you guys for a reason. So, this was specifically for people who had an online service-based business. They, wanted to get clients in their business and wanted to host an event. And they also wanted to land sponsors for that event. And I also, incorporated the fact that how I was able to grow my business with events and book out my services months in advance from just hosting events. I incorporate all that stuff together, and people were going crazy. Like, people were like, oh my gosh, I need this. Thank you so much for putting this out there. I've started doing a free video series on my Facebook page. Every single day I would do a video all about, hosting events and getting sponsors for free. I would do those events for free. I would do events on helping people come up with an idea for the event, all of those things, right? And so people were just asking a lot of questions. And from there, I started to grow a Facebook page for people who wanted to know more, and so I can build a community. And so now my business is known as the business to help online influencers, online business owners and makers who have an online platform and an online business, an online-based business, to book their services out and sell their products by hosting in-person events, as well as landing sponsors for those events. And so when I started doing these videos, I had some pushback. I had people saying, well, Gabrielle, you're in the, everyone is going online. This is an online business. This is an online platform. Why do you want to tell people to go back and regress to having in-person classes and doing in-person stuff versus doing digital classes, when you should be teaching about doing webinars and you should be teaching about doing digital classes, right? That's where everything is at. But I knew what in-person events did for my business. I knew that I was able to go from struggling to get clients in my business to booking out, my services months in advance. And so I just felt convicted to stick to that thing and not change to what everyone else was doing, which was telling you all about webinars and email courses and all those things. I talk about how they are important, but I talk about also incorporating in-person events into your business. And so now, when like I told you, when I started, first of all, no one else was talking about it like the way that I'm talking about it, specifically for online influencers to book out their services with in-person events. And the formula that I teach to do that, no one was doing that. No one was talking about it. It was just me. I was the only one. I felt crazy because everyone was saying you should be doing webinars, online classes, not in-person classes, right? And so about a month after I started doing this information, people started talking about in-person events. Because why? They started to do it. They started trying in-person events and they started to see how it could help their business. And so now there's a bunch of people talking about in-person events as a training, as something that they should be doing. And they're starting to become event coaches now, right? Where event planners are teaching all about doing events for your business. Now, mind you, when I started, this was not a thing, right? Okay, so now when people see, when any of my clients see someone else talking about the events the way that I talk about events, right? Because anyone can talk about events, right? But the way that I've been talking about it, and I'm talking word for word, like literally, like they're reading a script from one of my videos, right? They can call it out. They call it out immediately, right? Because my brand stands out in their mind as the go-to brand for in-person events for an online business owner to book out her services and sell her products, right? Gabrielle is the go-to person in the online space for getting sponsors for your in-person classes and workshops. That's what I teach. I don't teach about big conferences. I don't teach about all those things. I teach about simply doing in-person events and in-person workshops and getting sponsors to sponsor those things for you so that you can book out your services and sell your product, right? When one of my clients, people from my Facebook group, members of my Facebook group, when they see that information, when they see other people talking about it the way that I talk about it, oh, they come right back to me and they tell me about it. They come back to me and say, Gabrielle, someone in this Facebook group is doing this and they're saying it word for word. They send me screenshots. They send me pictures of people talking about the information that I talk about, the way that I talk about it. And they're on it because I have identified that I am the standout person in their mind for this particular topic. Let's get into, how you should stand out, right? Now, actually, before we get into how you should stand out, some reasons why you should stand out. Number one, you want to stand out so that you can attract the right clients to your brand, okay? Number two, you want to stand out so that you can create loyal customers and followers of your business, all right? Your ideal client, your ideal target audience become loyal to you when you're consistently putting out information on a particular topic, all right? And number three, your brand becomes appealing to others who need this particular information. So if a brand is looking to do a training for their their managers and their leaders in their business, all about hosting in-person classes, they're gonna look to me and say, okay, there's a girl who does trainings about how to do in-person classes and workshops. We need to hire her to consult with this, right? It's appealing to those who are in need of that particular topic, all right? That's why you need to create a standout brand. Now, how do you do it? Number one, you want to make sure that you have a transformational formula that is yours and that's based on your story. Okay? You want to make sure that you're creating something that is honestly something that is solidified and is grounded in who you are and your experience and how you got to where you are right now, and so that you're able to teach it to someone else. Number two, you want to create a unique brand that it's centered around you and what you do, like I said, around your transformational formula and how you are able to help people get results in a particular topic. For example, people know that when they work with me, they're going to be able to host a profitable event. People know when they work with me, they're going to be able to land sponsors. One of my clients has landed big sponsors in the online space. Other clients have landed sponsors in like corporate America, like products and services that are being sold in like Marshalls and stuff like that. So I really want you to start creating a brand that stands out, and you do that by being consistent with the particular thing that is your transformational formula, the thing that makes you you, the thing that is what you want to be known for. You want to be consistent with that. When I started out in September, I was doing videos every single day because I believe in what I'm teaching, and I always show up for you guys because you guys show up for me. And so I make sure that I'm putting out content out there that's going to actually help you. So you're going to be consistent. You're going to have a thing, a topic, or niche that you can be consistent in sharing valuable information on constantly, time and time and time again. You're going to start creating branded value. What do I mean by that? When I talk about hosting an in-person class or workshop, getting sponsors for that in-person class and workshop, no matter how small, and booking out your services and your product and selling your products, that is my branded value. That is the thing that is my brand, and it's valuable content that's actually going to help you make a difference in your business. I'm going to help you make a difference in your business. I'm going to help you elevate your business by hosting events. And so that is my branded value. You need to find out what the branded value is for you. You need to find out what that thing is, what your transformational formula is, what your signature thing is, that niche that you have that is just unique to how you run business and how you help people get results. And you need to figure out how you're going to show up time and time again and create content month after month, week after week, and day after day that allows your audience to be comfortable with who you are as a brand, and so that they can now start attaching your name with a particular topic. And when they see someone else talking about it, the way that you talk about it, they can actually stand up for you and say, no, this person talks about this the way that you're talking about it. So I know that you got it from her, because in my mind, she stands out as a person who speaks about this topic, okay? That's how you create a standout brand. And when you create a standout brand, you get outstanding income. Your business grows because now people trust you, they know you, they like you, and they trust you. You probably heard about that know, like, trust factor. And so that's what happens when you create a standout brand, all right? Now, if you're in the process of creating a business and you're in the process of figuring out what your brand is all about, and maybe you want to launch your business, maybe you have your idea already, maybe you know what you want to do, but you want to launch your business now and you want to get clients in your business, I recommend that you start doing an in-person event. So thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those questions in the comment section below.